And so we start this video off by asking the question, is it too late to apologize? Is it ever too late to apologize? Or actually, do you believe the apology happened in the first place? All right. If you didn't see it, that's the question. Skye Squad, we are back in the building. And of course, we are following up on last night's story about K. Michelle and Rashida. And guess what, y'all? Rashida had a little sit down, okay? Had a little sit down to talk about said apology. And I want to know what you guys have to think about it. And of course, I'm going to tell you what I think about it, all right? Let's get into it right this instance. Shout out to our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk, popping out these stories bright and early, okay? And I'm so glad because now we have the opportunity to hear from Rashida herself in a more explanatory tone. So let's get into it. Oh, along with Kirk. Let me turn the volume on. Go back out.
So clear because we've been talking about this for a long time. About how long has it been?
You was pregnant with Carter.
I was pregnant with Carter. So y'all, I guess today it came out the wrong way. But what I would say was I mentioned, I'm just gonna say this. I had conversations, and I have to say
I guess the first part is when she talks about how it came out the wrong way. I mean, earlier it came out, you know, with a litany of curse words. Now, some of them were mostly from Kirk, but it still came out, right? So it's always interesting to me because it always feels like ego and pride come before sincerity. And you know, I like Rashida. I do. I don't have no dislike for her. But at the end of the day, I'm just noticing a common theme as we look at several apologies across the course of the past couple of weeks or just in general. And I always wonder why it is that when an opportunity for correcting a situation comes up, it always seems like it's met with such resistance in the beginning. But that's just an observation. Let's go on.
Sorry that you guys don't know that I actually had conversations with that young lady, and we had spoken, and I've apologized.
And see, here we are again. Like, and I know I could be being overly critical here, but I also feel like just say her name. So clear it up. Say her name, clear it up, and that way you can just leave it in 2023. Okay?
Apologize on that
Or 2012, whenever the situation happened.
same platform that you've seen everything else. So I just wanted y'all to be clear in the.
But did we see that? I don't know if we saw that because I was asking y'all yesterday and y'all said in the comments y'all didn't see it either.
The thing that's, you know, is kind of hard over the time because people are always accusing you of doing something that you didn't do. And yes, I did. That was done. You're done, pretty. That was done. And you know, she and I had conversations. I wished her well. Yes, you can help me.
I'm sorry. This is what you be wanting to be. Okay. This is the thing.
Yes, I did. See, that's not what it was, y'all.
What's the young lady name? Because you're on the shade room and they saying one thing.
They are.
And then you hear. So you have to say the name.
I did. I told K. Michelle, and I apologized to her.
See how easy that was?
I apologized to her and wished her the best. We wished each other well. I always told her, I was like, girl, you can sing your ass off. Listen, don't matter if we getting along or not. But she's always been super talented. So I do want y'all to understand that did happen. And once we had that conversation and spoke again after, you know, not around that same time again. And then after that, and we said that it was, you know, everything was cool. We apologized and, you know, everybody wished each other the best. I left it there. I was like, okay, cool. Now, over time, things have been said, and that's why I chose to not comment on things when they come out on the internet because I left it there. I didn't want to do that. I don't do that. You know, and then a narrative be painted of me, saying, hey, Rashida, you know, you know, you me not being supportive of women who have been through domestic violence or anything like that. That is not who I am at all. Never, not that. So I just wanted y'all to understand that. And that's the reason why I've never continued to say anything about it, because I really wanted it to be left where it was, which was us wishing each other the best and moving forward with our lives. So what? Y'all
I'm just looking.
What? I'm just being honest.
No, of course. No. I'm just looking at you. I'm sorry. I'm drinking a little soda.
I'm just saying.
No,
and that's that.
I agree, and I'm sorry for just always pushing you, but I just like.
And the thing is, y'all, is like I'm gonna say this because everybody's always gonna feel and say certain things and different things. But you said this and you said that. You know what? Whatever was said at that time is what is said. It cannot be taken back. It cannot be changed. The only thing a person can do is continue to move forward, apologize, hold themselves accountable at that time, at this time, whatever the case may be. I have no problem with that. I want to move on with my life and move on to the new year.
With great energy.
Happy, with great energy, with good vibes, and just moving forward in life. Nothing pulling us back, y'all. We deal with so much shit out here. We don't need to be. So we got so many bigger things to deal with in life, but we stay on things that.
There's a couple of points that I definitely agree with here, in terms of like, we got bigger things to deal with. And that's definitely true. I do also find it interesting that, when we looked at the previous video, Kirk was, cursing up a storm and, adding, I think, in my opinion, to the negativity surrounding the situation and almost feeding into a fire that made it worse, right? And it's interesting to see him trying to step into this situation here. And I guess, that's his wife, so maybe he's being protective, but it's also a thing about being protective in the wrong direction, right? And I can't tell this man how to protect his wife, so that's his marriage, right? But it just didn't seem like it added any positivity to the situation. And to be very honest with you, whether or not she feels like she has to repeat it or not, clearly people don't know. And a comment here says the apology needs to be just as loud as the disrespect. And I definitely can agree with that. I think that if that was a conversation that was that had happened on Love and Hip Hop that we did not see, that it did not air, that needs to be made clear, because the audience is going to feel a certain type of way because the issue is so big. You're talking about DV, right? So when you're talking about DV and you're disputing another woman's story, then that's pretty harsh and it's pretty damaging, and it doesn't move in a sense of solidarity, just with women in general, right? So for me, I just kind of feel like the earlier apology did them no favors. Not the earlier apologies, the earlier live did them no favors. This, I think, is a step in the right direction in clarifying that the apology did happen. There was conversations. Whether K. Michelle, has chosen to forgive her or not, that's not really on Rashida if the apology happened in the way that she is saying. But I think you just have to be really careful about how you respond to things on social media when you do choose to respond. Had she never said anything, I don't think that anybody would really be up in arms about it. I think that if she had just left it alone, we wouldn't even have anything to discuss at this point in time. Or has she simply said, y'all know what, we talked a long time ago and we are well beyond that situation and it's all good vibes here. That took less than 15 seconds to clarify. 15 seconds left to clarify. So at that point, she could have been done with it. But because of the way that she responded in yesterday's live, it just kind of felt like it was a lot of ego involved with it and a lot of cursing involved with it. And so to me, this was the response that I felt like she should have given initially.
We can easily move forward.
See, here's the thing. And this is why.
Here he go again.
I'll tell you. And look, I got to jump in. I just wanted you
clear because we've been.
And so we didn't even get that part of it on here. So anyway, that's just my thoughts on the situation. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it in the comment section down below. I oftentimes think that situations can be resolved simply by, removing the ego. You know what I'm saying? Because that oftentimes gets people in trouble, and simply just saying, listen, hey, we settled that situation. We're in a good space today, or at least we left it in a good space, and that's where I really want to keep it. I apologize at the time. And to anyone out there that may have been offended, I apologize to you too. But we good, and we trying to move forward. I think that's how you respond to these types of situations. You know what I'm saying? The other thing that we want to talk about is also featured on the Neighborhood Talk, and I just got to give a shout out to them because they are killing it with the stories out there. But I felt like this was important, mostly because this was something that we talked about when College Hill came out this past season, okay? The situation between Amber Rose and Joseline Hernandez, the altercation, okay? Now, granted, physical altercations, it's low vibrational plate energy. It is. We need let's call a thing a thing. It's low vibrational plate energy. It's a lot of pork and beans on the plate. But at the end of the day, we a little nosy, so we do want to know, right? Who won that fight between Joseline and Amber Rose? Well, Blame It on Quay gives us the answer. Let's get into it. All right. So, Neighborhood Talk with the T, baby. Neighborhood Talk with the T. Blame It on Quay says Amber Rose won that fight against Joseline. He basically put it in the comments, okay? It says Amber Rose won that fight with Joseline. I mean, won. Okay? Blame It on Quay. You see it right here in the comment section down below. And says, y'all was supposed to keep this a secret in the chat. Okay? Now, I don't know what chat this was on, but it's definitely on and popping now. You know what I'm saying? There was a question that I had seen with somebody asking, well, where is the cell phone footage? And he had basically indicated that, they were in class. So that's why it wasn't recorded. And I guess they couldn't have phones in the classroom. I'm looking for the comment because I like for y'all to see it. I thought I saw it. Let me see if I can find it. It's on here though. It's definitely on here. I know I saw it. But you get the gist of it right there. Okay? You get the gist of it right there. He said 1-1. Now, when we look back at that altercation, Amber Rose was standing up and Joseline was sitting down, right? Of course, Joseline is not going to say to nobody that she lost the fight. Okay. And I think she had been the one who had been the most vocal about it because she made it seem like she had dog walked the lady, right? But according to the Quay, Amber Rose take the title. Now, again, in the spirit of low vibrational plate, in the spirit of pork and beans on the plate, and us being nosy, okay, who do you think won? Is your money on the Amber Rose, like Quay said? I'm liable to believe Quay because, the person watching the fight up close is probably going to be the best person to tell us who won, not necessarily the people in it, right? So let me know down in the chatterization down below, okay? I know we're going back in time. We traveling back in time on today's show, but, when it come up, we got to talk about it, right? So for those of you guys who are College Hills fans, let us know in the chat. I think that the situation with K. Michelle and Rashida, we can safely say it's been resolved. I don't want to hear nothing else about it moving forward as we go into 2024. And with that being said, I will catch you all in the next video.